Welcome to Incredible Idaho. I'm Mike Connaughton, and tonight we begin our show with a duck hunt. But it's more than a tale about the sport. It's the story of a man and a boy, a mentor and a protege, and how simply sharing time in the outdoors can be an incredibly enriching experience for anyone. It's about to be a perfect morning for duck hunting. A moon nearly full casts light across the waters of the Snake River. A light breeze ripples the surface. And over on the eastern horizon looms the promise of sunshine.
There's two there.
One of the most famous passages in Aldo Leopold's A Sand County Almanac begins, "I have congenital hunting fever and 3 sons." Leopold goes on to write of the importance of preserving habitat and passing on the hunting traditions and conservation values to the next generation. Dan Papp has the hunting fever, and his 2 grown sons have been raised to appreciate the outdoors. Now he's passing on these values to another young boy.
Robbie is wanting to be a duck hunter. He's starting the same age I started when I was 14. I didn't have anybody to take me, and kind of had to learn on my own, so it's nice to be able to extend the opportunity to a young person that really wants to get out and go. Get ready, he's right here. Take him. Good shot. Back. Good shot, Robbie. Just hold him like that and put it on there. Go ahead.
Robbie Engel's mom is an outdoors woman. Right now, she's pursuing a master's degree in wildlife biology and can't get away every weekend to hunt.
Well, there's 2 drakes that get to go sailing somewhere else. We should have had both of them.
I know.
I just flat missed. How about you?
Robbie and Dan discovered their mutual fascination with waterfowl by chance early this fall. And ever since, Robbie has been one of Dan's regular hunting partners, bringing all the freshness and enthusiasm of youth into the duck blind.
I get all excited and I get fidgety and get real excited, and it's fun watching them come in and trying to fool them. It's fun.
We don't get everyone that comes in either, do we?
No.
We proved that this morning.
Yeah.
We had 2 birds that came in. We should have had those,
Yep.
and we missed them both.
Yep, completely.
The sun has broken through the thin cloud cover. Decoys rimmed in frost become tipped with golden light. Geese pass high overhead, and Dan changes to a goose call, just for the joy of communicating with a wild creature.
There's a need, I think, within a lot of men and women today even, inside their heart to be outdoors and experiencing this, what I call the ultimate freedom, because you are more of a free person here than I think at any time I'm anywhere. Back. I'm gonna drag my decoys out. Oh, buddy. Now they're gonna float down the river. Maybe you can bring them back. Sure hope so. Good boy, heel.
The companionship and affection between the man and boy is obvious. There's the mutual anticipation and excitement of the birds coming in.
Good boy.
But there's also the quiet moments in the blind when nothing is flying and conversation is thoughtful and meandering. It's a special time that would never occur without the premise of the hunt.
And I think a lot of kids really don't understand what they're missing. And the outdoors, especially hunting, offers a unique experience that you can't get any other way. And I'm not talking about killing things. I'm talking about being outdoors and having the hunting experience take you there and experience that anticipation of maybe getting something, maybe not. But it's the anticipation, it's the looking. You have to be patient. We were talking about that this morning, patience. Here they come, Robbie. On the right. You make sure you get the one on the right now. I've got the one on the left, okay? I just think waterfowling is one of the greatest experiences you can share with a boy like Robbie. And I think Robbie's going to grow up, and hopefully he's going to see a day when he's going to have a 14-year-old in the blind with him. And I think he's going to do that. And it's just nice to be able to take somebody out. Good shot, Robbie. Good shot.
Keep your knee locked. Bird. Mount. Point. Yes. Right in the beak. Very nice.
Up next, a side-by-side shooting school. As you saw in our last story, hunters do occasionally miss their targets, and most accept that as part of the hunting experience. But a wing shooter near Boise doesn't believe that it should be. Buzz Fawcett says he guarantees his clients will shoot between 90 and 100% after taking his class or their money back.
Bird. Go up with it. And mount. Point. Shoot. Yes. Beautiful shot. Very nice. All right. Very nice.
You'd think Betsy Hazelwood had been shooting a shotgun for years, but the fact is she's only shot for a total of about 6 hours.
Good point now. Roll under and coil. Okay, now bring your chin a little higher. Okay, mount, slow, point under it, shoot. Left eye. Yeah. That's it.
I did this on a lark. I was not planning on learning how to shoot a shotgun. I just came out here with somebody that Buzz was teaching and was watching. I said, boy, that sounds like fun. And Buzz says, well, come out here and I'll teach you how to shoot.
And he did.
Yes.
The first time I hit the target, I was amazed. It was like, it broke. I couldn't believe it. And when they started doing the flying targets, then I thought I could never possibly hit one. And then when I hit it the first time, I thought, oh, that was just luck. And then when I kept consistently hitting them, then I knew that there's something to the technique.
Bird.
And he says he's done the same for clients from all over the United States.
Yes. Very nice. All right. The secret is what we call instinctive shooting. We are pure pointers. You notice that when I was working with Betsy out here, that I had her shooting with her chin up. And we learned this from the great ambushing predators. I noticed that before the attack, the ambushing predators would almost always point with their chin. And so in experimenting with the technique of pointing, at one point I said, geez, I wonder if that would work with shooting. And so I began to point my chin at the target, and it was just incredible. The barrel disappeared completely. Okay,
Buzz says the whole idea behind instinctive shooting is not to aim down the barrel. He says to think of it more like the old gunslingers, the quick-draw artists. They didn't stop to aim their guns. Instead, they focused on their targets and instinctively knew where to point their guns every time.
Drop the hand. Bring the shoulder forward. Drop this hand away. That's it. Now rotate the shoulder. That's good. Now point out your focus point. Roll under and coil. Mount, point under it, shoot. Okay. Keep your head up.
The famous sharpshooter Annie Oakley is said to be one of the best the world has ever known. She said shooting the shotgun is no more difficult than pointing your finger, a premise that Buzz totally agrees with.
All you have to do once you've learned to do it is point that finger. That's why we spend so much time out here teaching the mount. The mount must be totally instinctive. You don't feel the mount. You're not aware of the shotgun. You're not aware of when it goes off. It's just the shooter and the target and the total concentration that you see. Kill it. All right.
Experts say that humans use only a small portion of their brains. Buzz believes the dormant portion is the predator part that was used for hunting, when hunting was the only means of survival for man. He says his instinctive shooting method employs the predator portion, narrowing the shooter's world to a total concentration on the prey.
All there is you and the leading edge. Bird! Leading edge, kill it. Oh, we got to back off. That's Betsy trying to shoot instead of Betsy's predator. Okay, we'll go to the fundamental now and get our timing back.
The fundamentals are concerned first with the mount of the shotgun.
Mount.
Buzz uses a 12-gauge side-by-side, and Betsy uses a 20-gauge.
Kill it.
He emphasizes holding the shotgun at 90-degree angles from the body, horizontally and vertically.
We shoot with our elbow down, not up, so we are not creating an artificial pocket in the shoulder. Now, it's pretty obvious that if I violate those angles, for instance, if I were to get into the rifleman stance, mount the shotgun, and move it as much as half an inch sideways, I will just have changed the length of pull of the shotgun and the cast.
Instead of the boxer position or the rifleman stance, Buzz teaches his clients to stand in an upright position. As a result, it's critical that the shotgun fit the shooter. Buzz's gun is built with precise measurements to fit his body.
If you can look down those barrels and look at the stock, and you'll see how severely that stock is angled off to the right. That's the amount of cast that we need to put into it. This particular shotgun that fits me has 7/16 of an inch of cast, right cast or cast off at the comb, and 9/16 at the shoulder, which means, or at the toe.
Buzz Fawcett's business card reads, "If Mother Nature intended for us to shoot over and unders, she would not have placed our eyes side by side."
In my humble opinion, the side-by-side shotgun, shot correctly, in the hands of someone who understands it and understands this technique, can outshoot any of the other formatted shotguns.
In fact, Buzz's whole operation is a throwback to the classics, to country tweeds and leathers, to a time when gentlemen sportsmen were admired for their definitive grace, unfailing courtesy, and hunting ethics. He firmly believes that these qualities could be the salvation of the sport today in the face of growing ambivalence. It's the sort of thing that National Shooting Sports Foundation writes about in The Ethical Hunter. It reads, "We will continue to hunt as long as we honor the game, shoulder our fair burden of responsibility for the natural world, and require more of ourselves than others require of us. If we can act alone as though a crowd were watching, we will be stronger. We will be worthy of our hunting tradition."
Bird!
Man, I feel like a Top Gun. Boy, this thing really cruises.
Oh yeah, it's fast.
Up next, a boat building business. In our next story, we'll meet a man who says he's found the perfect way to combine three passions: woodworking, paddling, and the outdoors. Joe Greenlee builds and designs wooden canoes and sea kayaks, boats both striking and graceful, and almost too pretty to paddle.
I can just reach up here and just lift it up with one hand. It's so light. It weighs 32 pounds. A boat's not a boat until it gets wet.
But it almost seems criminal to put such beautiful woodworking into the water. Deep, dark redwood tones and swirls of white pine accent the rich, vibrant cedar that makes up the bulk of this handsome touring kayak. But don't let the delicate craftsmanship deceive you. Joe's kayaks and canoes are built to be boats.
I would guess that the most common statement that I hear people say is, "Gosh, I'd be afraid to put it in the water." And because they are beautiful, but they are extremely strong and they take a lot of abuse. And just a fresh coat of varnish every year or two is all it needs to keep it up.
He builds them here, in the garage of his Boise Foothills home. In the driveway is a canoe in the early stages, and in the living room of the house, two completed kayaks keep company with a third that's waiting for the finishing touches. The intricate deck patterns are designed by his wife, Bonnie. Joe takes her sketches and then works out a way to apply the designs to the deck of a real boat.
I'll build the deck with straight cedar, which is this wood right here. And then I'll go through and I'll cut out, with the saw, I'll cut out a lot of this swooping design, and then I'll end up piecing other pieces, other species of wood back in here. This is white pine, very light in color. This darker wood is redwood. And combining the different species and different tones of wood, you can come up with very striking designs.
The sea kayaks are built for touring. There's a watertight hatch for storing camping gear, both fore and aft, and a series of bungee cords to stow deck items like jackets and water bottles.
The touring kayaks that I build are meant to be used in big bodies of water, lakes, the oceans, or big rivers. They're designed to carry a paddler plus a lot of gear. And in fact, my wife and I have taken 2 of the kayaks that I've built up to the Pacific Northwest, and we've paddled and camped out of our kayaks. We've paddled from island to island and just had a great time. Nice dark piece of western.
Joe favors western red cedar as the main wood for both the kayaks and the canoes. He says it's lightweight, usually has a straight grain, and machines easily.
Okay, here we go.
The strips are 1/4 of an inch thick. Joe cuts them anywhere from 5/8 of an inch to 1 inch wide on the table saw.
And the next step in the process is to mill the bead and cove edge on each side of the strip. So that's what we'll do next.
Joe says that one advantage of western red cedar is the wide color variation. It can range from a chocolate brown to a light blonde wood.
We have our cove. We just cut our cove. On the other side of the strip, we have our bead. The bead fits into the cove. It acts as a ball and socket, and as you lay the strips around the bilge of the boat, you're able to twist the strips and still maintain contact with no gaps.
The strips will go on the partially completed canoe. Joe always uses strips from the same board to maintain color consistency, numbering them to keep them in order as they come off the table saw.
Okay, I'm now applying a bead of glue to the cove in this one strip so that we can edge glue it to the previous strip in the boat. For this step, we can use plain old yellow carpenter's glue. Once the boat is sheathed with epoxy and fiberglass, the wood and glue is impervious to water, so actually any type of glue will work.
The glued strip is upturned and placed firmly against the bead of the strip already in place.
Now to secure the strip to the form, I'll staple it in place. Then I'll work my way down to the ends of the boat, stapling and seating each strip securely in place.
The forms are the skeleton of the boat. Once the strips are all in place and the stem is attached, the boat will be turned over and the form or bones are removed. Then all that's left is the sanding, detail work, and encapsulating the boat in a fiberglass epoxy skin. The introduction of this coating has taken care of all of the old maintenance problems associated with wooden boats: swelling, drying out, and rotting.
Taking the old ideas of wooden boats and marrying them with some of modern technology, epoxies and fiberglass, and you have the best of both worlds. Just back paddle there, Sue. There you go.
And what better way to test the steadiness of one of these classic boats than with a rookie paddler? Joe takes Incredible Idaho producer Sue Nass for a float on a pond near the Boise River.
Meow. Man, I feel like a Top Gun. Boy, this thing really cruises.
Oh yeah, it's fast.
Fast and silent, and a perfect vehicle for approaching wildlife to get a close-up look.
Oh yeah, we snuck up on a lot of different animals, minks, and on the coast, seals and sea lions.
I noticed too, we were going on the opposite shore and we got close to the ducks. I mean, it's a different way to look at wildlife at water level too.
It is. You're more in their environment. You're looking at the world pretty much like they look at it. And if you're careful, you can get really close to wildlife. You just sneak right up on it.
Joe's company is called Redfish Custom Kayak and Canoe in honor of Idaho's salmon. In fact, a portion of his profits go to help salmon recovery, another one of Joe's passions, along with woodworking, paddling, and the outdoors.
It's a great sense of accomplishment to build something like this with your own two hands and then actually get out and use it.
We close our show tonight with a creature feature on Idaho's wintering wildlife. Our deer and elk herds have spent the entire summer building fat reserves awaiting the winter snows. And now the season has come. It comes first to the high country, nature gently burying its dead. The brown, withered leaves of fall gradually disappear under a cleansing layer of white. But the season's first delicate, lacy flakes disguise the harsh bite of the Rocky Mountain winter to come.